I'm a 90s kid and I like the 90s a lot, where there was a mystery around actors and artists. Now there's no privacy at all. If I watch a film for like that character a lot, I would just naturally be that guy. The longevity, the legacy that I leave behind is more important than box office.
Hi Rajkummar, welcome to the Quint.
Thank you, Tanisha. Thank you for having me.
The trailer of Hit, which is a remake of the Telugu film, it's so intriguing. But as we know with remakes, the expectations are always so high, right? There's always this thing as to we compare it with the original. Despite that, why did you choose to be part of this movie?
Because it's the same director who's made the Telugu one as well. And he wanted to take this film to a wider audience and he wanted to change so many things in the Hindi one. Screenplay, the performances are, of course, very different. The BGM, the treatment, the overall treatment is very different from the original one. And that's the reason for me to say yes as well. Because I really liked the story. As you said, it's very intriguing, it's very gripping, it really keeps you hooked throughout the film.
So this is the first time you and Sanya Malhotra will be paired opposite each other.
Yeah.
What was the experience like working with her?
Oh, it was great working with Sanya. She is a fabulously talented girl. She's a dear friend now, of course. But I think we got connected really well on screen and off screen as well. I found a friend, I think, while filming Hit, and she's somebody who keeps things very light, keeps everyone happy. She always has a smiling face. Yeah.
As you know, nowadays, like the definition of the hero or the protagonist has changed.
Yeah.
Previously, it was all about the story would revolve around this one hero, and he would be larger than life, he would be aspirational. Now it has become very relatable, as we have
Yeah.
seen with your films, Sanya's films, with Badaido, for instance. What do you have to say about this transition?
I really welcome it. Honestly, I'm very happy with the fact that we are now focusing on our stories and on actors playing characters more than anything else. Because I think that's the whole fun of being an actor, when you tend to play characters and you're not just playing yourself in every film. It can get monotonous after a point. It can get boring for. I'm only talking about myself here. If I keep doing the same thing again and again, it can get boring for me as well, not only for the audiences. So I'm very happy that people are expecting this out of us now. It's a welcome change.
The same thing comes when we speak about like accessibility, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, celebrities, thanks to social media, have become very accessible to
Yeah.
fans, which like back in the 90s, we didn't have that. There was always this kind of
Yeah.
mystery. So, I mean, do you see that as a like welcome thing as well? Or would you like rather have that element of
Honestly,
mystery
no, I like the
attached?
90s. I'm a 90s kid and I like the 90s a lot, where there was a mystery around actors and artists per se. Because every month there used to be one or two magazines, and you would only read that and get to know about what's happening in someone's life. But now, as you said, it's so easily accessible. Now there's no privacy at all. So I'm a fan of 90s, where I would just imagine that what Mr. Shah Rukh Khan would be doing right now, or for example, because I've grown up watching him, that's why I'm taking his name. So I think that mystery was great, where I don't know what someone's life is off screen. How he or she lives, where do they stay, what happens behind the camera. But now everything is so easily available. You see everybody everywhere, outside the cafe, at the airport, in the flight. What are they eating? Who are they meeting? So I think with due respect to this as well, but personally, yeah, I would always say I prefer that.
Since you mentioned you are a 90s kid, so what did you take away from the films that you watched as a child versus what would you want the audience to, take away from the films that you have been or are being a part of?
I was always a filmy buff, so I used to watch a lot of films. And at that time, of course, as a kid, I was just mesmerized by, those stories and those performances. So I felt like I was in a dream. So I really enjoyed that experience, those 3 hours. So I would be that character for next a week or two. If I watch a film for like that character a lot, I would just naturally be that guy. For 2 weeks, I would roam around like that guy. I would tell people to call me by that name. Remember, I watched DDLJ, so also because my name is Raj, so Rajkummar, I would become Raj Malhotra for 2 weeks. Or when I saw Mohabbatein in class 10, 11th, I think, I bought that sweater, I bought those glasses, and I would roam around like, again, Raj Aryan. So I would roam around like Raj Aryan. Of course, I didn't know how to play violin, but I would act as if I know. If a film had that kind of an impact on me, I would be that guy. But now, of course, cinema is also going through a change. We are still selling dreams, but hardly. I think we're mostly talking about heartland stories and stories which have some kind of realism in them and characters that people can relate to. So now I think the kind of films I've done, I would say, yeah, like Badhai Do, for instance, people have, it has given so much of courage to so many people. It has given them strength to come out in front of their families. It has changed so many people's lives, and these are the kind of films I would love to do whenever I get a chance, where through your work, if you can touch someone's life, I think that's the most beautiful feeling.
Now you have spent a considerable time in this industry, right? Can you talk us through that moment, that one moment when you realized, okay, now I have arrived?
I don't know. Honestly, I never really sat back and thought about that. Uh, I just kept working. I think I didn't really focus on anything else. What's happening? How much money am I earning? What's happening around me? What are the people? What is it that people are saying? I was just busy working, and I just want to remain that way. I just want to, push myself as an actor, focus on my art form than anything else.
What's the most challenging role till date that you have played?
Uh, Physically, I would say trapped and boss also, and mentally, Omerta was pretty taxing for me.
And what about the box office pressures? Like, you have been around for a while. Does it still does it rattle you, or are you like, you don't think about it?
I usually don't think about it. I want my films to do well. I want people to go to theaters to watch my film, but I'm not really thinking of a number that I want my films to touch this number or that number. As long as people are going and watching it and then talking about it to other people, the word of mouth is very important for me. The longevity, the legacy that I leave behind is more important than box office, because box office is something which nobody can predict, nobody can control. But making a good film or try to make a good film is something you can control, and I focus on that. And I want my films to be talked about even after 10 years. Like Badhai Do is a film I know even after I'm gone, people would talk about Badhai Do.
The final question, like, do you think the era of superstardom is over, or
I don't know. I think we have to wait and watch. It's too early to say that. Um, Superstars, I think, will always remain superstars. Like when I was growing up, our superstars, we've been growing up watching, will always be superstars. That is a tag that they'll always carry, and they should. I think they've worked for 3 decades, and for me also, they're my superstars. But I feel now it's very tough for anyone to achieve that kind of stardom, which our seniors have seen. Now, of course, people will, of course, we will get so much of love, but to achieve that kind of stardom would be very tough for anyone.
but why do you think so? What's different now?
I think what we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
social media is the reason, because now people believe that, yeah, I'm seeing this actor every day on my phone. I don't have to go out, stand outside his house to see him. I feel like I know him. Yeah, so I think that mystery is not there anymore.
Thank you so much for
Thanks a
talking
lot,
to
Tanisha.
us. Thank you.
Thank you.